Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time you're watching this. It's your favorite dietitian, Jess here. And I just wanted to drop this video because I took the liberty of actually reading the articles that were recently published in Men's Health magazine about some of our favorite Black men. And Men's Health will only allow you to read 3 articles before they make you pay for a subscription. So I only got to read about 3 of them. I picked my top 3 because I was truly interested in their health journeys and, just kind of wanted to get a little bit of insight on what led them to create the bodies that they have that are on display on the cover of Men's Health magazine. But more importantly, I wanted to understand, men as, same thing with women. As we all get older, we value our health more. And I wanted to just learn about, what they were thinking and what really inspired them to continue on their health journey. So I'm going to start with Busta. Yes. And man, anybody that grew up in the 90s, of course, knows Busta Rhymes. And I actually posted about his health journey before because he did lose a lot of weight. And from what the article says, he encountered some health issues. Mainly, he developed polyps in his throat, which led him to have very, very challenging times with breathing and all that. So, he did say that there were a couple incidents that really made him think about his connection with, how he was feeling and his illnesses and his weight. Specifically, he was about to get intimate, as he put it, with a woman, and he was having trouble breathing. And that stuck out to me. And then he was also saying how he was about to give his son a dap or a high five or something like that. And his son slapped his stomach. And he was like, he kind of went off on it. And you have to read the article. Like I said, it's free. But, those were the 2 points where he was like, man, I really got to make some changes. So one thing I did find really interesting about his journey, too, is that, he recollects images of his father who kind of, came back and forth in his life. And he said that his father reminded him of a god. He quotes, like a lion. This man, obviously worked out. And he would remember his father drinking protein shakes. And, that really stuck out to him, too. So, again, with Busta, he had some major health problems going on and a couple of key moments where he realized that he had to make changes. And so he started hitting the gym. He's doing all the things, eating healthy, which he encourages people to do, exercising. Now, he did say that in preparation for the tour, he did kind of up his workouts. He's doing 2-a-days now, and he's got some cryotherapy in there too. But it sounds like he's in it for the long haul. All right, so our next Men's Health highlight is 50 Cent. And if you've been following 50 Cent for any length of time and you've watched Get Rich or Die Trying, 50 Cent did not, he was not one of those kids that was lean and athletic and all that. He was actually a little thick boy, like some of us, thick kids, we grow up, we're not the thin kids that can eat everything and not gain weight. So, he did have some weight issues growing up, but what he did mention is that when he got shot, he did focus a lot more on his physical appearance. And, reason being is that, he wanted to recover from those injuries. But he found that in the gym, he just felt strong. So he took on boxing, was working out, which led to that infamous in the club video scene, where he's running on the treadmill. And he mentioned that he wanted to put that in the video so that people could see that that's where he felt like he was his best self, if you will. He wanted to highlight that. So, he came on the scene fit. And everybody, I guess, just assumed that he had always been into fitness, but not so much, right? He, again, suffered an injury, wanted to recover. and started focusing on his health and strength. And finally, we get to our one of my favorites too. I know I said that about Busta, but yeah, he's one of my favorites. More recently than before. I will say that I listened to a lot of Wu-Tang growing up, but like Method Man has really made like I wouldn't say a 180, but he's definitely a different person now in his power days versus his Wu-Tang days. And, this is reflected in the article too. He said in the Wu-Tang days, they valued not necessarily self-love, but, lifting up the black man. If you listen to their lyrics, they refer to themselves as gods and lords, which, wasn't the thing back in the day, So, they really came on the scene with that kind of mentality. However, he did say that there was a lot of indulging in fast food. I'm trying to think of the way I could put it so it's clean on here, but you know what I mean. Y'all know what I mean. So they weren't really focused on their health. They were really focused on just living, and there were a lot of waking up in the afternoon, sleeping all day, eating fast food. And then he mentioned that Ghostface Killah was actually diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. And so he was his example in his circle of somebody that was really kind of focusing on being healthy because he had type 1 diabetes. So that was his first example of what a healthy lifestyle looked like, because, Ghostface Killah was trying to manage his disease. But he did mention that, he suffered from some PTSD, some depression, some anxiety, some insomnia. And the insomnia was what really led him to think about his health and wellness, because, he would be up, and he mentioned that, one night or one early morning, he was up at like 3:30, and he was thinking about going to the gym. And he was like, if this gym ain't open until 7, I'm not going. He looked it up, and the gym opened at 4. So he started going to the gym early mornings to kind of combat that insomnia. And now, it's led to this whole transformation. Y'all see what he looks like now. Amen. Amen. So again, just to summarize, all three of these men had points in their lives where they made a decision to focus on their health and wellness. And one other thing that Method Man mentioned, because the question was asked whether or not there's conversations within his circle, with the brothers about like health and wellness. And, he was like, absolutely not. Like, we don't talk about that. So, and, I get it. Men, we got the whole Mars and Venus thing going on. But you know what? I feel like women don't necessarily talk about that either. Chime in the comments, if you disagree. But I think, in general, we'll talk about everything else. But when we try to talk about our health and wellness, it's either because, we're feeling horrible and we're sick of it and we're complaining, or it's because, it's a fleeting thing, right? Oh, man, you look good. What you been doing? I've been working out, eating healthy. And then that's the end of the conversation. So takeaways. All three of these men are 40 plus. Some of them, I think a couple of them are actually Busta and Method Man, I know, are in their 50s. And they all said that fitness looks a lot different now than it did when they were in their 20s and 30s. And that's real. Like, I low-key want to cuss on that, because like the minute you turn 40, everything changes. And so it's not necessarily harder. It's just, it looks different. And so they all have chosen to focus on their health and wellness for whatever reason. And, I just want to celebrate it, because low key, it didn't have to go that way for them. They could have, Busta could have just been like, well, F it, I'm just going to deal with these polyps, have this little surgery, and, we don't know what would have happened. And, Method Man could have continued on his, journey, however it was going. 50 could have been like, I got shot, and use that as an excuse. However, all three of these men took control of their health and wellness. And lo and behold, they made it on the cover of Men's Health magazine. And I read the article. So if there's anybody else you want me to chime in on, let me know in the comments. But again, just want to celebrate health and wellness from the male perspective. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Take care. Be safe. Live healthy. Bye.